Good evening to everybody. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. You are audible.
I think so. Shall we wait for 2 more minutes? Then I will start my class, please. Okay. I think only 6 students are there. We'll start. We'll wait for 2 more minutes. Then we'll start. Okay. Good evening to everybody. I think so. Now we can start because of already we waited for 10 minutes. Now we cannot wait for more time. Yeah. Yesterday we have seen what are the various rules relating to environmental waste management. And today's class we are going to see what are the how the waste is pre-treated and what are the various disposal options are available for disposal of environmental waste management. And just to recollect, yesterday we have seen hospital is such a place where all sort of waste are generated, which includes infectious waste, municipal solid waste, hazardous waste, chemical waste, used batteries, electrical and electronic waste, plastic waste, construction and demolition waste, radioactive waste. Various types of liquid waste are generated from laboratory, laundry, and domestic sewage, etc. And also, there will be various emissions from boilers, digesters, the captive incinerators, depending upon the type of hospital is concerned. We also have learned yesterday. Am I audible to you all, please?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
sir.
yesterday we also have seen the environmental waste generated, the waste generated from healthcare facilities. Generally, 80% is general waste. It is general statement I am telling you. Then only hard and fast rule. It is a estimated values only. And infectious waste is generated about 20%, which comprises infectious and anatomical waste about 15%, shops about 1%, chemicals and pharmaceutical waste about 3%, and genotoxic, radioactive, and waste health waste with heavy metal content will be around 1%. We also seen the rule about the environmental waste rules, which indicates there are 4 categories of environmental waste based on color coding, like yellow, red, white, and blue. Yellow waste is a highly infectious waste, which will be generally disposed of by incineration or plasma pyrolysis. And red is meant for segregation of yellow colored the plastic waste. I'm sorry, infectious plastic waste in red color bag, which can be treated by autoclave or microwave or the you can also use dry heat sterilization and followed by shedding is a must. So in order to avoid reuse, and after treatment, the waste can be used for the purpose of various recycling purposes. And third category is one white. We also learned that generally waste shops are segregated into the white container, which should be tamper proof, leak proof, and this waste can be treated by the autoclave and microwave. I'm sorry, microwave we will not use for any stainless steel or so. Autoclave you can use, and dye sterilization method can be used. And after treatment, it can be shredded and can be disposed of by various purposes by the stainless steel recycling units and other industries. And the blue category, it is mainly for segregation of waste like body implants and glass waste, which can be treated by chemical disinfectant or the any other method like chemical disinfectant using sodium hypochlorite solution 1 to 2 percentage, and afterwards it can be also can be disposed of by the for recycling activity. And rules emphasizes segregation at source of generation of biomedical waste, and all the waste has to be segregated and stored at a safe place such that is not going to cause any impact on the both waste handlers as well as the waste generators in the hospitals, and also while handling the biomedical waste is not going to cause any impact. And four categories of waste, we also learned four categories of waste like human and animal waste, soil waste, and microbiology waste. These waste has to be disposed of within 48 hours. You cannot store more than 48 hours because these four categories of waste are highly infectious and also required to be pre-treated. It has to be pre-treated and it cannot be stored more than 48 hours. And permit on-site treatment facilities only in care to the hospitals, provided there is no any common facility within a distance of 75 kilometers. And all the waste generated by the hospital has to be disposed of through a common facility located within 75. If no common facility is available within 75 kilometers, then the hospital will be permitted to have their own captive treatment and disposal facilities. If no facilities are available, then the best method that is followed for disposal of biomedical waste is the reburial. And laboratory, microbiology waste, blood samples, and blood bags. These four categories of waste has to be pre-treated. That will see how it has to be pre-treated and all, either by autoclave or microwave, or you can use chemical infection. But you have to ensure efficacy if you use chemical infection log 4, whereas if you are using sterilization using autoclave or microwave, you have to achieve the efficacy around log 6. We cannot use chlorinated plastic bags for handling of biomedical waste. You have to go for chlorinated plastic-free bags. And the hospital has to provide training to all the healthcare facilities at the time of induction, and also thereafter at least once in a year. We also learned that barcode is required for the barcode has to be adopted by all the hospitals for disposal of the healthcare waste as per guidelines issued by CPCB. And all the healthcare workers have to be immunized against hepatitis B and tetanus at least as per WHO guidelines or Ministry of Health and Family Welfare guidelines. And health of the healthcare workers has to be ensured by providing proper PPEs. And without PPEs, healthcare workers should not be allowed to handle any biomedical waste at all. And also, all the healthcare workers, their health checkups has to be carried out at the time of induction at least once in a year, and records has to be maintained. And all the records relating to the trainings or waste generation, how waste has to be treated and disposed of and all has to be maintained for next 5 years. You cannot dispose of that records you have to maintain for next 5 years. We also learned that the rules suggest various technologies for treatment of biomedical waste, which includes incineration, plasma pyrolysis, autoclave or hydroclave, dry heat sterilization, microwave, shredding or combination of sterilization units and shredding, chemical disinfection using hypochlorite about 1 to 2% sodium hypochlorite solution, encapsulation, sandy landfill or disposal by deburial. These are the technologies suggested under the rules for treatment and disposal of biomedical waste. If any person want to go for any new technology, then they have to submit the proposal to the ministry. Ministry will examine the proposal technology and they lay down the standards. After laying down the standards, only the healthcare facility or anybody wants to use any other technology other than the suggested technology under the rules can be adopted by the healthcare facilities. Otherwise, cannot used by any hospitals or conflict operators. All the healthcare facility workers and conflict operators, they have to submit the annual report by 30th of June every year for the calendar year. For the previous calendar year, they have to submit by 30th June. Means for the last year, they have to submit by 30th June of every year. And make available annual report on the website of the individual bedded hospitals, and these records have to be maintained for the next 5 years. We also have seen how to operate the incinerator. The primary temperature should be 800 degrees. Primary chamber should have 800 degrees centigrade. Secondary chamber should have at least 1050 plus or minus 50 degrees centigrade. And residence time should be 2 seconds. We have to maintain, and they have to maintain the standards prescribed in the rules, which includes for particulates, the NOx, the hydrochloric acid, acid-based, what we call it as mercury and its compounds, as well as the dioxins and furols. Therefore, apart from this, we also learned various regulatory responsible authorities for enforcing compliance to rules is Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare at both the central level and the state level, Ministry of Defense, CPCB, state political control boards in the states, political control committees in the union territories, state governments of especially state governments and UT administrations, and the state or UT health departments and local bodies are responsible for the authorities for ensuring compliance to the harm request rules. And of course, the state level, there should be a state level advisory committee has to be constituted by the state government, and also district level, there should be a district level monitoring committee for enforcement of the ensuring compliance to the rules. Liabilities action can be taken against the violators under Section 5 and 15 of the EP Act by the State Control Board or CPCB or Ministry. They can take action. And these are the yellow color categories of waste which you have seen. The plastic waste has to be segregated into red, and the waste shops has to be segregated into white, and whereas the body implants and glass waste has to be segregated into blue colored the cardboard box or so. These are the type of waste which you have to segregate into yellow color bin, and you have to put the biohazard label is a must for handling of biological waste. In case of if it is a cytotoxic waste, then you have to put label as C label in place of biohazard label. Of course, the thickness of bag should be as and now the thickness of bag restricted is 120 microns. I'm sorry, this is our old one. Now the restricted the thickness of bag should be 120 micron. You cannot use any bag which is less than 50 micron size. Now what I told you, if you want to handle cytotoxic waste, then the yellow color bag has to be used for handling of cytotoxic waste, and you have to put a label, C label, in order to differentiate which is infestation and which is cytotoxic waste. This is what I want to tell you. All the yellow color waste categories has to be segregated into yellow color bag, and you can see here some types of waste like microbiology, biotechnology and laboratory waste has to be pre-treated using autoclave. Afterwards it has to go into the yellow color bag. These four categories has to be treated, and it has to go directly in yellow bag only, not in red bag, please. There should not be any confusion for you people. This is the waste highly infectious, therefore this has to be pre-treated, then pre-treated waste has to go into yellow bag. Similarly, we have got one chemical waste, it has to be neutralized. It has to be pre-treated by neutralization, and this chemical waste has to go into yellow bag only. Other waste like human analytical waste, animal analytical waste, then discarded medicines, etc., and soil waste can go directly into the yellow bag directly, and the discarded linen matters, etc., will go directly into the yellow bag without any treatment. Similarly, the all plastic waste, infectious plastic waste has to go into red bag. The red bag should have the bag or container. The container should have, or bag or container should have the label of biohazard label, and the thickness also here also it is you cannot use the bag of red bag of less than 120 microns. It is a must now. 120 microns as per the latest rules is 120 microns is the cited thickness of the bag. And this is what the white, all the waste shops has to be segregated into tamper-proof, leak-proof, waterproof container only. It should be a tamper-proof, means once you have kept into this container, you should not be able to take out. Therefore, that sort of container you have to use for disposal of the waste shops, which includes metal needles, syringes, etc. All the waste shops you are aware. And body implants and broken glass you have to segregate into blue colored coded the discarded cardboard box. You can use it, and you have to segregate. Whatever it may be, our main theme of the biomedical waste components of biomedical waste management is segregation at source, collection and safe storage, the transportation, followed by safe treatment and disposal. Or this treatment may be on-site or off-site. Therefore, on-site is nothing but the pre-treatment of various waste categories prescribed under the rules, which includes for laboratory waste, microbiology waste, the blood samples, blood bags, and also chemical waste has to be neutralized. Then only that waste has to go into yellow bag. And off-site means waste can be collected by the conflict operator. You will transport it and dispose of through the facility which is the meant for disposal of the treatment and disposal of waste. Then that waste can be safely disposed of by the conflict operator on behalf of the healthcare facility. And if you look at the waste management hierarchy, the various waste management hierarchy are most preferred is the prevention of waste generation. Okay, if it is a waste generation is inevitable, then we have to adopt the various methods called the reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover options. Therefore, first of all, in waste management hierarchy, most preferred option is no waste generation. That should be the motto of the hospitals. No waste generation should be there. Yes, waste generation is inevitable. Then we have to ensure that waste generated has to be reduced or reused, recycled, and recovered. Of course, recycling, reuse, and recover can be adopted these three principles only after treatment only. Without pre-treatment or without treatment of waste, no waste can be reused or recycled or recovered. After treatment only, the waste can go for at least reuse and recycle has to be ensured only after treatment of waste. Whereas recover means we can adopt some sort of plastic waste can go for the waste energy plants where you can the generate the power generation. Therefore, recover can be done without treatment, but still it is suggested to go for pre-treatment only. Now, after pre-treatment, after treatment, the you can adopt even after adopting reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover options. Some waste is still will be there, which you cannot do anything. Such waste has to go only for disposal. Therefore, disposal option is the least preferred option in the waste management hierarchy. The top priority, you have to remember this, most preferred option in the waste management hierarchy is prevention of waste generation, and the least preferred option in waste management hierarchy is the disposal into landfill or into the environment. Therefore, our motto should be prevention of waste generation. If waste is inevitable, waste generation is inevitable, then adopt reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover options. Then, after following these principles, if waste is required to be disposed of into the environment, then before disposal of that waste into the environment, we have to ensure pre-treatment. Therefore, even after disposal of waste, such waste into the environment by means of landfill or whatever it may be, it is not going to cause any impact on the environment. Therefore, treatment of waste before disposal is also required. Therefore, in the waste management hierarchy, you have to remember these two questions you can expect. Most preferred option is the prevention of waste generation, and the least preferred option in the waste management hierarchy is the disposal into the environment. Now, coming to the today's topic, the pre-treatment and disinfection. I think so. You have come across all this already. This aspect. Therefore, there's no necessity for me to explain in detail. But still, I will try to. I will try to discuss with you people regarding the how it can be the pre-treated the waste the biomedical waste can be pre-treated. You're going to have a look at the introduction concept of pre-treatment of biomedical waste. What is the need for pre-treatment of biomedical waste? Pre-treatment of how the pre-treatment of industrial waste can be done. What are the technologies available for treatment of industrial waste and pre-treatment of liquid chemical waste and infectious wastewater, environmental cleaning and housekeeping in healthcare facilities, management of discarded linen in healthcare facilities. This is as per your the syllabus is concerned. BHM102 Block1 is concerned. Pre-treatment and disinfection is concerned. This is as per the syllabus, the content. Okay. Now, what type of waste are there? Can you please, somebody can tell me what are the various types of waste are there? Anybody can respond, please? Yeah, Ashwinji, can you please tell me what type of waste are there? Generally, you can talk.
Waste, solid waste.
What type of waste you can say?
Infectious waste, sharps, radioactive waste, general waste.
Sir, may I?
Please, yes, please. So what type of waste are there? Somebody can say, please.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, human and animal, any anatomical waste like body parts, tissue organs, and placentas, etc.
Okay.
Then we have soiled waste in which dressings or any plaster cast. Then expired medicines or discarded medicine, we can say. Then we have general waste, which is produced by the patient and attendants. Then
Okay.
waste which is generated from disposable items like plastic waste like IV sets, then
Yeah.
catheters, syringes,
Yes,
And
please.
then liquid waste, and of course needles and syringes are also the waste.
Yeah. Okay. Any others can volunteer? What type of waste are there?
Sir, there are general waste and there can be infectious and non-infectious, or
Yes,
it can be general waste and that which is produced during the healthcare activities,
yeah,
or it can be agriculture or industrial waste. Uh, it can also be classified on the basis whether it is solid or liquid waste.
yeah.
So these are the various types of waste which are produced. Anything which is has been used once and cannot be used again, it will be categorized as waste.
Yeah. We feel that waste is no more useful. Any waste is no more useful, then only we feel it as a waste. Suppose if any waste is there, like if we take paper, we feel there is some value, addition is there. No, nobody will throw any waste, the newspaper also. We'll keep aside all the newspaper and one day we'll throw it to the waste paper, the recycler. They will come and collect and they will give you some per kg waste, maybe around 20 rupees also. There's some value addition is there. Therefore, depending upon the type of waste, once if you feel that if there is a revenue, naturally we will not throw it. Like even plastic waste is also recyclable. We can sell it. We can keep aside all the waste and we can keep it. Then we can sell it. You will get some sort of the amount. There's some revenue is there. Naturally, wherever revenue is there, we always will try to keep it aside and then one day we'll throw them to the recycler so that we will get some revenue. And there are some when you feel waste, then no more useful. When you throw it, means you feel no more useful for you, then only the waste will be thrown. Otherwise, definitely we'll try to save. And if you look into the your syllabus is concerned, waste have been and the categorized into as per the classification as per source. One may be a source of waste generation. What is the source? Maybe healthcare facilities. Therefore, there is a biomass waste generation from healthcare facilities. Agriculture, there is some agricultural waste is generated. Okay, that is a common problem if you go to North India, Punjab and Haryana. And now this is the season where they burn all the agricultural waste residues and all, stubble burning and all. And the waste, they feel it is a waste because they don't any revenue from them. Therefore, they fear they try to burn it. Is it? Similarly, industrial waste. If there is some the industry is there, they generate some sort of hazardous waste. It may be industrial waste, it may be industrial hazardous waste, or it may be industrial non-hazardous waste. It may not be hazardous also. Similarly, waste generated from municipalities, that we call it as municipal solid waste. Therefore, depending upon the type of source is concerned, you can define waste into different categories, maybe healthcare facility, healthcare waste, or agricultural waste, or industrial waste, or municipal waste. Similarly, classification of biomedical waste. Now, one of you, the one of you have told different types of biomedical waste. Of course, general classification as per rules biomedical source notified by the Government of India is there are 4 categories. One is yellow, red, blue, and white. Now, depending upon the other classification, healthcare waste as per WHO, they are defined as different types of waste. One has the shops, the infectious waste, pathological waste, pharmaceutical waste, and cytotoxic waste, chemical waste, radioactive waste, and non-hazardous waste. This is as per the WHO classification. World Health Organization has classified healthcare waste into different types of waste. Similarly, if you look at the classification of waste as per hazardous nature, it may be, I told you, any waste is, it may be hazardous or non-hazardous. Therefore, hazardous waste is there, like, non-hazardous waste is there, like paper, plastic, tin, vegetable waste, etc., non-hazardous waste. Whereas hazardous waste categories are there, like, industrial waste, maybe e-waste, radioactive waste, healthcare waste, and also infectious hazardous waste. These are some of the categories of waste. And if you look at the harmful effects of, what are the harmful effects of waste on human health? Yesterday we have seen, I have shown you one slide. If it is going to cause impact on the human health and the environment also, the waste is not disposed of. What the classification as per physical properties? Suppose if any waste is can be classified into solid and liquid. Solid may be a biodegradable waste, and solid may be also non-biodegradable. Means it cannot be biodegradable at all. Some waste is there, inert materials are there. They are not biodegradable. Any vegetable waste is there, that is a biodegradable waste. Similarly, liquids are there. Liquid waste can be categorized into 3 types. One is black water, grey water, and storm water. These are also depending upon the source. Black water is the sewage. Grey water is also from our kitchen waste water, and storm water is the runoff during the monsoon. It is a stormwater. Therefore, depending upon the source, you can classify different types of waste, and we know that what are the types of solid waste. We know that now what are the types of liquid waste, and we know that what are the classification of hazardous waste. It may be hazardous waste, non-hazardous waste. Similarly, WHO has classified healthcare waste as different categories, and as per Government of India rules notification, the healthcare waste is categorized into 4 categories. What is red, yellow, the white, and blue categories. Coming to the technologies, I already told yesterday also, today also in the introduction. There are different technologies have been suggested for treatment and disposal of biomedical waste as per rules. That is incineration, plasma pyrolysis, and coming to non-burn technology. These two are incineration, plasma pyrolysis are burn technologies. We call it as burn technologies. Non-burn technologies are like autoclave, hydroclaving, dry sterilization, microwave. These are all combination of autoclave and shredding. Therefore, they are all called non-burn technologies. Whereas the one more technology is there for us for treatment of biomedical waste is the chemical disinfection, where we use 1 to 2% of sodium hypochlorite solution is used for treatment of biomedical waste. Generally, the only small quantum of waste can be used for treatment of chemical. Otherwise, generally glass waste or such a way we can use chemical disinfectant. And other methods, disposal options are available like final disposal, like encapsulation. We see that what is that and all. Encapsulation is there one of the technology for disposal of the biomedical waste. Sandy landfill is after treatment, any waste which is no more useful, that sort of waste will go for sandy landfill, or disposable deburial. Means whenever there is any composting, and in rural areas, the biomedical waste can be disposed of by deburial. The treated plastics for energy recovery. Treated plastics can be used for the purpose of energy recovery, waste energy plants for energy recovery, and where also you can recover the what you call it as this diesel or fuel oil we can recover from what you call it as pyrolysis oil. We can recover oils from plastic waste that can be used as for the purpose of fuel oil in the industry or any brick kiln, etc. And also we can use the treated plastics for road making. Some of the around 10% of plastics can be used for along with the bitumen. They melt it along with the bitumen, and it can be used for the purpose of road making also. Some plastic waste can be used for the purpose of road making. This has been tried in Tamil Nadu and the other place like Delhi also they tried, and it is more successful also. Therefore, what are the treatment options we have? Way that cannot be recycled or reused or sent for landfilling by proper treatment to restrict infectious nature of the waste. We have got various treatment options is burn technologies, and other one is non-burn technologies. We are going to discuss about these burn technologies, non-burn technologies in the next class in detail. But today is concerned, you should know what is the burn technology, what type of technologies are there in burn technologies. That is only incineration and plasma pyrolysis. But in case of non-burn technologies, we have got thermal processes, chemical processes, mechanical processes, or biological processes. Maybe microwave or hydroclave or okay. And these are the methods one can be used. And now after segregation, these are the methods can be used by us. This is what we have to have a look at it. Yellow waste will go for the incineration. Once waste is can be disposed of to compost which is located within 70 kilometers, and once waste is treated by incineration, once after treatment of incineration or by plasma pyrolysis or deburial, the ash generally generated in the process of incineration or plasma pyrolysis that can go for landfill only. All the plastic waste has to be segregated to red color, the coded container bag, and that waste has to be treated by autoclave or microwave. Then that autoclave afterwards, that waste can go for after shredding can be recycled through recyclers or for energy recovery or diesel fuel oil recovery or for road making you can use it. Similarly, white category of waste shops it can be treated by autoclaving or dry heat sterilization, followed by shredding is a must. And final disposal can be of treated waste shops can be disposed of through iron foundries or sickle landfill or concrete waste shops shop pit. The final version is in body implants or glass waste can be segregated into blue color coded cardboard box or so, and it can be that waste can be treated by disinfection or by soaking sodium hypochlorite solution, and finally that treated waste can go for the sent for recycling activity. This is the simple mechanism I showed you so that you can understand easily, you can remember easily. Now coming to our topic is concerned pre-treatment of infectious healthcare waste. Anybody can tell me what is the requirement of pre-treatment of healthcare waste? Why you have to go for pre-treatment? Why you are worried about pre-treatment?
Sir,
Yeah, anybody can say why we have to go for pre-treatment. What is the next thing?
sir, to kill or deactivate the pathogens and to prevent to make the highly infectious pathogens to non-infectious, so that prevent
Yeah,
infection.
you said correctly. Okay, I can kill the pathogens which are there harmful in nature. Therefore, I can kill them. Okay, why you have to ensure killing of the waste, the microorganisms which are there in the waste?
Sir, please repeat.
Why you have to go for kill these microorganisms which are there in the waste?
Because otherwise they will start multiplying.
Okay, start multiplying. Then okay, होने दो, multiply होने दो.
Maybe because during transportation, to render it less infectious, because it has to be transported to the facility.
Come to the, everybody can say, and I think Renu Gupta ji has told from her point of view. Now I think so. Madam has told about your point of view. Anybody can say. Any others can volunteer to say, please, why you have to ensure pre-treatment of waste. Yeah, Ashwin ji, can you try?
No, sir.
Prakash, M. Prakash, I could see some. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah, I think so. M. Prakash, where are you from?
So I'm from Pondicherry.
Pondicherry. Tell me, you are working in any hospital or what?
Yes, sir. Working in the hospital, sir.
Yeah, which hospital?
Indira Gandhi Medical College.
Then I have given a lecture in your college, maybe
Oh,
somewhere around 2016.
okay, sir.
I delivered a lecture there. Now, present member secretary is my close friend of me, Mr. Ramesh. He's the member
Yes, sir. Is
secretary in
a
our Control
Puducherry
Committee.
Pollution Control Committee,
Yeah, he's
Mr.
close friend of me. And he
Okay,
has,
sir. Okay.
to me, I had delivered a lecture
Yes,
in
sir.
your college.
Okay, sir.
2016. Okay, no problem. Yeah, can you try why you have to ensure pre-treatment of waste?
So,
No,
sir, to
if there are the
mainly
fact
to
also, don't worry, you have to react. No, I want to see that you're reacting to my queries.
render it non-infectious, sir, because these
Yes,
are all
render it
infectious, highly
nonsense. I agree
infectious.
with you. Okay, yes, please. Yeah, Ravin Kumar, can you try please? Why you have to ensure pre-treatment? Ravi Kumar ji, Ravin Kumar.
Sir, it is basically, it could be a reason that in case it can lead to an outbreak if it is not disposed of properly, sir. Or
Yeah,
it can also lead to a public health problem if not treated properly, sir.
yeah, what he said is correct. It may cause outbreak of the diseases, isn't it? Yes, I agree with you. Your statement are correct. Everybody has given very good the reactions. I definitely agree with you all because some type of waste is there which are highly infectious in nature, like human article waste, animal article waste, then blood samples and blood bags. They are highly infectious waste, and we have got other waste like laboratory waste, microbiology waste, and this waste has to be pre-treated. Why? These are the waste which may cause spread of diseases. It may cause spread of diseases while storing within the hospitals, or it may cause spread of diseases, or it may cause health impacts while transportation, or it may cause impact while treating the waste by the waste handlers in the treatment facility itself. Therefore, therefore, rules have insisted for treatment of this sort of waste so that this waste is not going to cause any impact on the environment or healthcare workers when they are going for handling of that waste for the purpose of treatment and disposal. Therefore, pre-treatment of some type of waste. Yesterday we have seen it also. Already I have told you also this morning also. They require the pre-treatment. Especially what type of waste requires pre-treatment? Can you please remember?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you please remember what type of waste requires pre-treatment? This is waste. Laboratory
Blood
waste,
Basically,
microbiology
laboratory
waste,
Blood.
waste,
blood
lab waste,
sample, blood bags have to
microbiology
be
waste.
laboratory
pre-treated.
waste, research
So
waste.
these are highly inflammatory waste. This waste has to be pre-treated. Why? They may cause impact on the environment while handling the waste. It may be at the segregations, or it may be at the source itself, or while transporting the waste, it may cause impact on the waste handlers, or while treating the waste also it may cause impact. Therefore, with this waste has to be treated. That's why rules the specifies pre-treatment is essential. Pre-treatment is the step before subjecting infectious healthcare waste to the actual treatment and is imported at the healthcare facility so that it helps in safe handling of infectious waste by the healthcare workers within healthcare facilities or transportation or facility. Therefore, pre-treatment is essential. Now, one query is there, practical query is there, which I always face, and I also will be in the embarrassing situation. Sir, after pre-treatment of these four categories of waste, why I had to throw, it may contain some plastics also, why I had to throw this waste into yellow color. Here we are ensuring pre-treatment, then we are putting into that waste into incineration, is into yellow color bag. Therefore, all yellow color waste will go only for the purpose of incineration only, or by treatment by plasma process only. Therefore, there is no possibility of recycling of this waste because once it is incinerated, no waste will be there, only ash will be there. Therefore, not going to cause any impact. Most of the queries that I get when I give lecture is, sir, after pre-treatment, why you have to segregate into yellow color only, and why you not putting that the laboratory waste, it may contain plastics also, you are throwing into yellow bag, and all waste is going into incineration. The purpose here is to see that it is an infectious waste. There is a possibility of regeneration of infections because of the under favorable conditions that we are not sure. Therefore, all that waste has to go only for incineration so that by incineration, the waste is not going to come back. The waste is not, there is no possibility of recycling of such waste. Only we are converting infectious waste into non-infectious waste like ash. Therefore, is not going to cause any impact on the environment or public health. Therefore, this pre-treated, the four categories of waste has to be pre-treated, then it has to color the segregated yellow color bag only. That's the reason. Therefore, that you have to understand, and accordingly we have to proceed. Now, need for pre-treatment of infectious waste is, I think the people have already told healthcare professionals, rag pickers, we can make them to be risk can be avoided, and also unscientific management of waste can lead to transmission of contaminants. Now, any waste is there, you will dispose of. At least because of pre-treatment, we have ensured at first stage that even if such waste is disposed of improperly also, that's not going to cause impact. That's the reason they insist upon the pre-treatment. It also causes other infections such as the immunodeficiency virus, HIV, hepatitis B, C, E, tetanus, septemia, and tuberculosis. Therefore, you can avoid all these sort of infections even if the waste is improperly disposed of. Therefore, pre-treatment is essential. Methods and standards prescribed for pre-treatment of amount waste are source of generation only, has been already prescribed. And Rule 8 always insists that the microbiology waste, biotechnology, and all other clinical laboratory waste shall be pre-treated by sterilization to log 6 or disinfection to log 4 as per WHO guidelines before packing and sending it to the conference. That's why we ensure so that we can avoid impact on the risk can be avoided for the both medical and paramedical staff, and we can also avoid impact on the environment as well as the human health. Therefore, pre-treatment is essential. Now, pre-treatment of waste, practice healthcare fees. What type of pre-treatment are done? If anybody is having idea, please, can you please tell me, please? Generally, what is commonly practiced now?
Sir, autoclaving for microbiological and laboratory waste.
Yeah, do you have this system in Chandigarh?
No, sir, I'm from
Yes, sir.
Himachal Pradesh.
Yeah, you are from which part of Himachal Pradesh, madam? Renu Gupta ji?
Sir, I'm from Dharamshala.
Dharmshala. I'm sorry, I was supposed to visit Dharmshala. I could not able to come out, but in Shillong, I delivered 2 or 3 lectures there. The state political board I have organized. I have delivered lectures there. But Dharmasthala, I was supposed to come, which I could not make it. But
So
anyhow,
so which place you have delivered lecture?
in Himachal Pradesh, Shillong.
Shillong is not in Himachal, sir. Shimla, maybe Shimla.
Sorry. Simla.
Shimla. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In Simla, I have delivered several lectures.
Okay,
I
okay.
think so. Dharmasthala, they planned, but I could not streamline. But I could not visit. Anyhow, I have not seen in Dharmasthala also, unfortunately. And one of the member secretary of Himachal Pradesh board, he was IFS officer. He came from Dharmasthala. When he became a member secretary, at the time they organized, I was there in Simla. But Dharmasthala, he told that he will organize, but he could not able to organize. Then I could not also go. Anyhow, Renu Guptaji seems to be have got very good the insight into the rules and bound waste. I feel so. I feel that you have got very good knowledge. Yeah, what type of waste will be pre-treated in the hospitals?
The blood bags can be pre-treated, like autoclaving should be done before it is
Yeah.
discarded.
Generally, we can go for waste shops. It can be pre-treated so that it is not going to cause impact on the any the health impacts. We can take at least if somebody reuses it. See, if you look at in one of these in Gujarat, 2014 somewhere, they started reusing this sort of waste shops, syringes that cause a lot of panic. At the time, we have closed one of the industry responsible for illegal activity. Then we have closed that hospital itself. 2014, I'm telling you. I'm the person who have taken action at that hospital. We have revoked even their bank guarantee and we have closed permanently that hospital. I don't know whether that hospital is in operation or not. Other cultures and stocks of the etiologic agents and the biologicals, generally these cultures and stocks are generally required to be pre-treated by these are the categories of waste, laboratory waste and all. And human body fluids also. Before you discharge, one should try to pre-treat it, then you try to discharge into the drain also for further treatment disposal. Laboratory waste also has to be neutralized. All these gloves, gowns, shoe covers, all these things have to be pre-treated or disposed. Before disposal, it has to go for proper treatment. Even glass slides also has to be pre-treated within the hospital before you discharge, before you dispose of. And biological waste which should not be incinerated. What type of waste cannot be incinerated? Anybody can say, please? Can you please guess what type of waste cannot be incinerated? Pressurized gas cylinder containers. Otherwise, they may create blasting in when you go for incineration. This sort of waste cannot be incinerated. Large amount of reactive chemical waste cannot be disposed directly into the incineration process, and it has to be pre-neutralized. Then only that waste can be incinerated. Silver salts and photographic or radiographic waste cannot be incinerated. Halogenated materials such as PVC, polyvinyl chloride plastics cannot be incinerated because if you dispose of these PVC bearing waste through incineration, they are going to cause the emissions like dioxin which are carcinogenic in nature. You cannot dispose of this waste into through incineration. Waste containing mercury, cadmium, and other heavy metals such as broken thermometers, used batteries, and lead-lined wooden panels cannot be incinerated. Otherwise, they're going to cause a lot of emissions like mercury, cadmium, and the lead, etc. should not be incinerated by incineration at all. Sealed, the ampoules or vials which not disposed in huge quantities in the combustion process. Radiated metals cannot be incinerated by incineration process, and pharmaceuticals, thermally unstable in conditions, and such waste can be treated cannot be which can be treated using the high temperatures only. Therefore, some cytotoxic drugs can be treated and generally can be incineration, so that is not going to cause any impact on the. Now, what are the method that has been suggested by the rules is concerned? Yellow color waste like chemical liquid waste. Chemical waste has to be pre-treated. Chemical waste has to be neutralized. Any solid form of chemical waste has to be neutralized depending upon the chemical nature of the waste. Now, the question is how to neutralize the waste. Anybody can guess, please? You got some liquid, the solid waste is there, which is chemical waste. Then how do you ensure neutralization? Anybody can guess what type of method can be, if you want to go for neutralization, what methods can be followed? What are the parameter that can be thought of? What
By treating it with hypo or in through ETP plants,
No, ma'am. What I'm
liquid
asking
waste.
you, if any chemical waste is there, if you want to go for neutralization, there is a answer in the question itself. If you want to go for neutralization of any chemical waste,
Sir, if the solution, if the waste is acidic, then we have to neutralize with alkaline solution, and if the waste is alkaline, then we have
yeah,
to neutralize
yeah.
with
Any
acidic, like
waste, which
pH.
is the typical parameter, what we have to concern is pH. What is the pH of the waste, whether it is a solid or liquid? If the pH of the waste is the acidic in nature, then you have to use the alkali so that you can neutralize that waste. If any waste is the alkali nature, then you can use the acids in order to neutralize the acid bearing waste or waste, chemical waste. Therefore, if you want to neutralize any chemical liquid waste, then you have to see the what is the pH of the waste. And accordingly, you have to take a decision for what type of chemical you have to use to neutralize the liquid waste or the solid waste. Then other waste, yellow color waste like microbiology, biotechnology, and other chemical laboratory waste has to be pre-treated using sterilization technique or by the chemical disinfection. Okay, isn't it? That is what the rule says. Pretreatment technologies for
I
us
have a
is,
question, sir.
yeah, please. We'll have a question. Let me complete first. Two more slides is there, then we'll have questions. Sejuvan talks about pretreatment of yellow corrective waste destined to be incinerated can be pretreated only by non-chlorinated chemical methods like autoclave or microwave. Any waste which is going for incineration, that waste cannot be treated by you cannot treat that waste by hypochlorous solution, chlorinated. You cannot go for the chlorination. In fact, this cannot be used for treatment of any waste which is going for incineration, because if you treat the any biologic waste by chlorination methods, then if that waste is going for incineration, it is going to cause the the Dashian phenol. Therefore, such a waste, any waste which is going for incineration, has to be pre-treated only by autoclave or microwave only. Only that waste you can send for incineration. Any chlorinated treated waste cannot be incinerated because it is going to cause Dashian phenol definitely. And the chemical disinfection, you all know that now chemical is known to us. We will have a look at it also. You can use hypochlorite solution, 1 to 2%, having residual chlorine about 30% of residual chlorine, and it cannot be, it has to be at least treated at least for 20 minutes. Sterilization techniques are there. You can use autoclave or microwave, and we got to ensure the efficacy about the log 6 in case of the sterilization, and in case of chemical infection, you have to ensure efficacy about log 4 only. Now, disinfection efficacy depends on operation conditions within treatment equipment, whereas the quality of the quantity of chemical use and also contact duration or time means contact time, extent of contact between disinfectant and waste surfaces, and also penetration of chemical into the waste and organic load of the waste and operating temperature, humidity, pH levels, etc. That is what the efficiency depends on. These are the factors, and various methods can be used is wet and dry thermal disinfect technologies. You can use autoclave, hydroclave, or microwave, or dry heat sterilization techniques that we have heard yesterday. Autoclave, these are the techniques we can use: autoclave, microwave, or hydroclave. And these are the temperatures you have to maintain in case of hydroclave. The autoclave maybe around 121 degrees centigrade, 15 psi, and not less than the in case of gravity flow autoclave, you have to maintain residual time should be at least 1 hour, whereas in case of vacuum flow autoclave, yeah, the resin time should not be less than 45 minutes. You all seen yesterday, and this is the microwave and what the temperatures and all. You can have a look at it. And yesterday also I explained about dye sterilization, where dye heat is used. You can maintain temperature about 185 degrees centigrade, and resin time period cannot be less than 150 minutes. And once the cycle is completed, we also can use various types of tests like strip test are also can be used. Sport test can be used for assessing the efficacy. And these are the techniques we can use. Okay, pre-treatment by disinfection or chemical, we can use in case of autoclave, we can use a strip test or the sport test. Anybody knows about strip test or sport test, please? Anybody can say strip test or the sport test, please?
The strip tests are, I think, generally like the urine test, in which the strip color changes indicates the result, just like a urine test maybe.
Okay. What about sport test? Anybody is having idea?
Sir, reagents are added in the spore test, sir, to check any changes.
Yeah, this is the strip I'm telling you. This is the strip test. Here, you can see I have shown in my slide. Before putting any waste, it's like a tape. It's like a ordinary tape. The tape we have to put over the bag where suppose if you take any waste, this is the waste bag. You have to placed on the bag of the waste that you have segregated. Then this bag has to be placed into the autoclave. Ensure temperature of 121 degrees centigrade and 15 psi pressure and not less than 45 minutes. After maintaining the desired temperature, pressure and resin time, take out the waste from the autoclave. Now when you see the tape, it would have changed the color as supplied by the supplier. If the color of strip has changed as specified by the supplier, then that indicates that you have operated your equipment properly. Means your treatment is very good. Suppose if there no change in the color as suggested by the supplier, that indicates that your operation temperature, pressure, and resin time is not adequate, not properly treated. Therefore, you have to repeat the process. You have to repeat the batch once again, or the treatment has to be done. That is the strip test. Spore is concerned nothing but this is a spore. Let us say bag. Along this, I will put my spore, attach the spore by using tape or so. Put my entire waste bag into autoclave, operate it, reset temperature, pressure, and resin time. Then take out this bag from the autoclave. Now I will take out the vial and I will go for incubation. For 36 hours or 42 hours, I will go for incubation. If there is no change in the color of that spore, that indicates that no activity. No activity means you have killed all the spores. There is a change in the color of the vial is there. That indicates there is a activity is there. That indicates you have not killed all the spores. Therefore, that the treatment process is not adequate. You have to repeat the treatment. Therefore, for every batch, this strip test has to be conducted, whereas spore test has to be conducted at least once in a week. This is the frequency that is being suggested with the rules. Now coming to the other, pre-treatment or liquid waste, and we have seen already. I don't want to say anything, and you can see this. These are the methods can be used for the neutralization. This is where liquids are there. I'm collecting it, and depending upon the pH nature of the waste, I'm adding the neutralizing agent dosage from here, and it is a mixing mechanism. Once it reaches the desired pH level, then it can discharge into the through ETP. Therefore, this is the how liquid chemical waste can be neutralized. This is the mechanism one can think of, and all the liquid waste can be collected, and dosage of chemical has to be done depending on the pH nature of the liquid waste. Once it is achieved the desired the pH of the liquid waste, then it can discharge into the drain further for further treatment through ETP. And environmental cleaning and housekeeping, it is a I think so. You can generally it is known to all the hospital staff how they maintain the cleanliness in the hospitals, housekeeping and all, using disinfectants. They use the hypochlorite solution for maintaining the cleanliness of the hospitals. And especially the operational theaters, they go for complete sterilization. They will ensure proper the efficacy also. They will ensure then only that operating theaters are used for the purpose of the operation purposes. And the management of discarded linen, etc. How do you discard? Please, anybody can say. How do you discard these linens, mattresses? Rule says you can dispose of by incineration only. Now, how to ensure such a big one incinerator? The door will be very small. In such a case, what to do? How to do? Anybody is having idea, please? Yeah, nothing is these sort of the mattresses also has to be cut into pieces. Then you can put into incineration. So by incineration only you can dispose of. If no incineration method is available, then cut into small pieces. And then you can use the chemical disinfectant. After chemical disinfection is using chemical disinfectants, you can dispose of them as a solid waste. This method that can be followed. Therefore, as far as the technologies are concerned for the treatment of waste is concerned, you can use the general methods that can be adopted is the chemical disinfection, or you can use autoclave or the microwave. This is about the pre-treatment. And what I feel is we'll have a break for 5 to 10 minutes, so that continuously hearing for 2 hours is also very difficult. I think so. Meanwhile, you can have a tea or so and come back after 10 minutes. I think so that will be better. We'll come back. We'll meet back at 5:15, please. Okay, if all agrees. We'll come back and I will give my next lecture around 5:15, please, after having tea break. Okay then. Thank
Okay,
you.
sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Can you see my slide, please?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, next topic that I had to cover today is on-site and off-site disposal options. Anybody can say what do you mean by on-site disposal options and what are the off-site disposal options? Anybody knows? What are the options available for on-site disposal and what are the options available for off-site disposal?
Sir, on-site disposals are the like incineration and autoclaving we does, and off-site disposal is like by common biomedical waste treatment facilities.
Okay, that means on-site disposal option when it is permitted. Anybody can guess?
Within the hospital premises.
Yes. No, you got the rule says there is some provision is there when it will be allowed to have on-site treatment facilities by the rules. What is the provision?
Within 75 kilometers when common facility is not available, sir.
Yes. When no common facility is available within 75 kilometers from the hospital, then hospital will be allowed to have their own captive treatment facilities. Means you can have your own treatment facilities within the hospital. But generally, we never allow any hospital to have their own treatment facilities, captive treatment facilities. Why? The hospital should have a proper environment where you can treat the patient so that they will recover quickly and they will go back after recovery. Suppose if you are having captive treatment facilities, you will have some problems. It may cause, suppose if you are not operating properly. Like in Chandigarh earlier, within the Chandigarh hospital, there used to be one common facility, incineration, and it never used to comply. Always they used to cause lot of emissions that we are having record. In my CPC Delhi office,
Yes,
we
sir.
got record. There is any proper record. Always theft will happen. From Chandigarh hospital, always complaints will be there. There was a huge, recently, I think so, maybe around a few years back, they are caught also. All plastic waste is going away from the premises of the Chandigarh hospital and it is going into the illegal hands. Therefore, we never allowed to have the treatment facility within the hospital because the environment may spoil if any on-site equipment is not properly operated. Therefore, generally we discourage. But generally, we always try to encourage the hospital to dispose of their waste through a common facility. But in most of the states, we got the common facilities except in the northern states. Till Assam, we got. I think so now Meghalaya also started having one the Comfesti. There's no problem. They are managing their waste through a Comfesti. But other states like Shillong, Mizoram, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, and some few states still they are not having any Comfesti because of the geographical conditions are not allowing and the cost of collection is very difficult. Therefore, they are going only for disposal by deep burial. Therefore, where there is no Comfesti, they are going for disposal by deep burial. Now, generally, what is the phenomena from hospitals? Common biomedical waste facility is there within certain. Then the conflict operator will collect the segregated waste. It is the responsibility of the hospital to collect the segregated waste, and whatever the segregated waste is there, depending upon the type of waste, like generally yellow waste will go for incineration, whereas other waste like the red and white and blue categories of waste they go for treatment either by autoclave or microwave or hydroclave or a combination of both these units. And after treatment, this waste will go for shredding, and after shredding, it will go for different purposes of the recycling activity. Whereas yellow colored waste will go for incineration. That will be the yellow colored waste will be treated by incineration or plasma process technology, and the whatever the waste is generated generally ash. That ash generated from the incineration operation will be disposed of through secure landfill. Whereas the waste which is generated, the liquid waste is also generated from the in the process of incineration because of we are using the water or the pH bearing wastewater to scrub the acid fumes. In the process, we are generating the toxic the wastewater that will go for ETP, effluent treatment plant. Then afterwards, it will go for recycling activity. That is a continuous process. Sludge generated from the ETP will go for final disposal into landfill. This is the method that we are following. Now, on-site, you got on-site treatment facility, neutralization of liquid waste. I told you all liquid waste has to be neutralized using the neutralization the method. Here, depending on the pH nature of the waste, you can use the dosage of chemicals, and after neutralization, that waste can be discharged into the drain further for further treatment. And we also see the methods followed for pre-treatment. That is like the autoclave. And this is the pre-treatment options available for treatment of biomedical waste as a part of on-site. If no waste is there, then naturally that waste can be disposed of by a deburial. Definitely, this is what we have seen already. Now, when no waste is available, no compost is available, in such a case, the hospital will be allowed to dispose of the biomedical waste by deburial. Deburial. Anybody knows about the specifications of deburial? Yes, deburial is generally allowed where there is no any confesty near to the confesty hospital within 75 kilometers or in rural areas. Deburial is allowed as a part of on-site disposal option. When confesty is there, waste will go to the confesty. When no facility is available, then the hospital has to ensure treatment by adopting their own treatment technologies, either incineration or by the non-incineration, non-burn technology like autoclave, microwave, or no technologies are available, then they can dispose by deburial. Deburial generally it can go up to a depth of 2 to 5 meters, but it should be at least 2 to 2 meters above the groundwater level. The bottom of the deburial cannot be close to the groundwater level. At least there should be 2 to 3 meters of the gap should be there above the groundwater level. It should be there, but the depth of deburial cannot be to the more than 5 meters. Width is generally 1 to 2 meters. Then once waste is generally at the bottom, clay is covered, and waste is daily on waste basis. Daily waste generated is disposed of through burial, and once it is daily waste is disposed of, it is always covered with the soils. Once entire waste is filled, this should be covered with the entirely soil, and nobody will be allowed to go for into that areas, that is restricted area, because of it contains waste and all. It is embedded with the cement also, so that nobody can dig it. This is the method followed for deburial. Now, what are the various available options? What are the factors? It depends upon the waste waste characteristics, the or quantum of waste generation, or options available for final treatment and disposal, or what are the regulatory requirements. What are the regulatory requirements? Like, even a compost is there within 7 kilometers, you cannot have your own treatment facility. Therefore, it is disposed of through composting only. That is the regulatory requirement. It compared to that requirement. The capability of the healthcare facility to handle the quantum of waste. Yeah, the main purpose of hospital is to ensure the treatment of the patients, but not the waste treatment. Therefore, this option has to be seen. What is the capacity? Whether you are having the capability for treatment of this waste or not, accordingly one has to ensure. Therefore, capacity of the system, what type of capacity is available to you, volume and mass reduction, and environment and safety factors, and cost consideration, like equipment purchase cost, shipping fees, custom duties, installation and commissioning costs, annual operating costs, including preventive maintenance and testing, cost of transport and disposal of treated waste, decommissioning costs, etc. Therefore, there are so many factors are required which decides whether it can have disposal options on-site or off-site. These are the factors one should have. Now, other thing is that this disposal options for treated biological waste we have got as per schedule. One is we have got various disposal options. One is deburial, secondary landfill, sanitary landfill, and also we got encapsulation and resource recovery, pre-treatment by neutralization, waste energy, recovery of fuel or diesel oils, road making, and use of waste as raw material by iron and foreign. These are the options available for disposal of treated biomedical waste. You have to see that any waste without treatment, without the treatment, you cannot go for recycling activity. Therefore, deburial, when is the option? You can go for deburial. Anybody can say, please, now? These are the various options available to you for disposal of the treated biomedical waste. When do you go for deburial method? Anybody can say, please?
On-site
No, disposal
And
option,
the
deburial
common biomedical facility,
is not
the
available.
facility is
That's
not
all.
available.
Therefore, when compost is not available, you'll go for deburial only. Now, second landfill. What type of waste can go for second landfill? Anybody can guess, please? See, what are the waste management hierarchy? You have seen prevent waste generation, reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover. These are the options you can adopt to ensure treated waste can be utilized for some other purpose or recovery of something. And when there no possibility of any reuse, recycle, or recover anything, then that waste becomes waste for you. That has to go for secure landfill only. Apart from this, one type of waste is there, like infectious waste is highly infectious waste is there. That waste you have to go for incineration. After incineration, you are going to convert all the infectious waste into non-infectious waste. What is that? Ash. Now, how to dispose of this ash generated from incineration process? Anybody can say, do you have any utility with the ash is concerned? Generally, ash is not at all this ash generated from incineration is not at all used, but ash generated from thermal power plants is useful. You can go for cement making. Also, they can use it. They blend it along the cement. Then and also 5 to 10% of the ash can be used for the purpose of brick making also. Whereas ash generated from the incineration process cannot be used for. Some people will go for brick making and all, but generally cannot be used because it may contain some sort of the toxic constituents, and generally it will go for secure landfilling disposal. Therefore, ash generally will go for secure landfilling. That is the one option available for disposal of the instant ash. Then when can you go for sanitary landfill? What is the difference between secure landfill and sanitary landfill? Anybody can say, please? Secure landfill, sanitary landfill. Sanitary waste generated from municipal solid waste can go for sanitary landfill. Solid waste will go for sanitary landfills. And secure landfill, any hazardous waste bearing waste, maybe like ash. Incineration ash from biomedical waste incineration operation may contain hazardous constituents. Because, for example, any pharmaceutical waste is incinerated, that ash generally contains zinc, cadmium, and nickel. Because some fraction of the minerals are required in the pharmaceutical also. Some content of these constituents are required. When they go for incineration of this waste, definitely they will become a part of ash. Even if mercury bearing waste is not segregated, if you go for incineration, that becomes a part of ash also, apart from emissions into the environment. Therefore, generally, instant ash generally is hazardous in nature. It may contain hazardous constituents. Therefore, this waste will go for secured landfill. Means, I'll show you what is secure landfill. Generally, it will have a liner. After liner is the HDP liner. The waste will be there. Waste can be disposed of. Then what is the options? What is the other thing options available is encapsulation. I'll show you all these things, method that can be adopted. This is the method of encapsulation. It is like any cement barrel is there. All the waste can be inserted into that barrel. I use some sort of the binding agents, maybe like cement or so, or lime, or these materials act as a binding agent, and I will fill it into the one pipe. That becomes an encapsulation. Means any pipe is there, big pipe. If I take all the waste and I will put cement as well as the lime or anything, then I will put it into this pipe, and I will seal from both the sides, so that is encapsulation. Nothing will go from this. Then these are the methods available sanitary landfill. This is what I was talking about. The liners are provided at the bottom, and once this pit is having the liner system, all the waste can be disposed of. Once the pit is completely filled with the waste, then it will be covered with the liners and it is closed permanently. No waste will go for anywhere. That will be there permanently. This is what the hazardous waste landfills, the secure landfills. It is what you call it as landfill. It will contain various mounting systems all around the facilities. These are the liners used. Once waste is completely filled, it is covered with all the liners and completely closed, and there will be a mounting system all around the facility. Is there any impact on the groundwater or so? After post closure of these facilities, definitely we are going to check whether these waste are going to have any impact on the environment or not after disposal. Now, as far as the today's class is concerned, we have seen what are the various options available for pre-treatment options of the biomedical waste. And also we have seen what are the various disposal options available for the disposal of the treated waste. we have got various options like encapsulation that we have seen. Resource recovery means waste can be used for the purpose of recovery of X-ray films. For example, X-ray films. You can recover the the silver from the X-ray films. Now, of course, we are not using X-ray films. Earlier, all X-ray films can be used for the purpose of recovery of silver. That method was there. You could able to recover silver. And now we are going for digital mode. No such X-ray films are available, except in case of chest X-rays and all. We are still using, or MRI scans are there that can be used for the purpose of recovery of some sort of the silver also. Pre-treatment options, we have got neutralization, so that we can minimize the impact on the environment. And we have got various disposal options like waste energy. Waste can be used for the purpose of recovery of for generation of power, like plastic waste. All plastic waste, we call it as a, we can make it as a bales, and that or we can call it as a refuse derived fuels. You can go for incineration through we can generate steam. Through steam you can generate power, that is waste energy. Therefore, by using the plastics, we can generate power also, where generally they use for the technology like a plasma gasification. And some sort of plastics can be, we can recover even fuel oil or diesel oil from the plastics. The technologies are available. Generally, plasma pyrolysis fuel oil we can recover. The technologies are available. And also plastic can be used for the purpose of road making. This is one of the options available for the disposal of plastic waste, apart from incineration. But generally, the for the incineration of plastics, we have to have a proper control system. Otherwise, dioxin fuels emissions will be there. Of course, some of the waste can be used for the purpose of as raw material, like in case of stainless steel, like waste shops after pre-treatment. These the waste shops are nothing but will contain the stainless steel. Therefore, this sort of stainless steel can be used by iron or foundry industries. It will go for make of other products. And other options available is treatment disposal option available is the for pharmaceutical waste we can also dispose of by incineration, and also you can go for encapsulation, or you can return back to the manufacturers, or you can give it back to you can dispose of by hazardous waste incinerations. And in case of the energy situations, options in emergency situations, you can go for waste pit disposal of healthcare waste by waste pit, and also sharp ash pit can be used for the purpose of disposal. If no options are available, we can dispose of bomb waste by deep burial. That is the well-known technique. When no option is available, when no confidence is available, then you can go for disposal of bomb waste by the deep burial. In case of any hazardous waste, that hazardous waste after pre-treatment, that can go for disposal in second landfill. I have shown the pictures also. What is the second landfill? Or any waste like the municipal solid waste or healthcare waste after pre-treatment, it can go for sanitary landfill also. These are the various disposal options available for the disposal of treated plastic waste, the biomedical waste. Therefore, there will not be any impact on the environment. With this, I think so. I have covered both the offsite, on-site treatment and offsite, on-site disposal options. Any questions? They can then you can ask me, please. Any questions?
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
Sir, blood bags are normally sent for autoclaving as a part of pre-treatment before we dispose them.
Yeah.
Then, how should we pre-treat the blood inside the bag, since we cannot normally flush it in the toilets or
Generally,
anywhere?
you cannot separate out. You should not separate out. You should not touch also. All the blood bags, we don't know what is the hazardous nature of the blood bag. Therefore, can you hear me, please?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that waste has to go as such, autoclave it. No segregation of liquids from the bags. It has to go as such for autoclaving. Autoclaving, the blood bags has to go into the yellow bag only.
Okay, sir.
Okay, please.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else? Anybody else? Anybody is having any questions? Any questions, ma'am?
Sir, good evening, sir. I have put a question in the chat box also, that this is about the discarding of medicines in the yellow bag,
Yeah.
expired. So can the medicines be discarded along with the foils, or should the foils be separated and then discarded? This is one practical question which is being put up.
All the discarded or date expired medicines has to go into yellow bag only.
Along with the foils?
Foils also, you see, you're not going to separate out anything.
ठीक है sir.
But there are methods available now. Even this, the foils, what they do is they are recovering aluminum. Foils are nothing but aluminum sheets.
Aluminum sheets.
Some people, I have heard that they are trying to recover this, remove the medicines from these foils. After removal, it is going for recovery of aluminum. But but anyhow, if this waste is not infected, means you are not mixed up with any other yellow color waste, and if you are having any mechanism for shedding, let us say shedding, through shedding you can recover aluminum foils, whereas the medicines which are there that can go for incineration. But generally, nobody is allowed to go for. There no such method is as such is adopted by the conference operators. As such, this waste is going for yellow bag, and yellow bag nobody is going to chant it, and that waste is going for incineration. If there is any specifically the medicines or the outdated medicines are there, then I think somebody is doing it somewhere. I heard in Bangalore, they are going for shredding and followed by grading of these shredded materials into aluminum, the foils, and these outdated medicines will go for incineration after segregation, and they are recovering some aluminum content. But I don't know whether it is economically viable or not. As on date, if it is not economically viable, people will not touch it. Once economically viable, there is a possibility for segregation of that waste, definitely. Like, if you are having huge quantum of waste, like, any outdated expired medicines are being given away to manufacturers, if they all collected and if they can give it to such a huge recycler who can recover aluminum foil, there is a possibility economic viability will be there. I'll quote you an example. Like, in Hatti gold mines in Karnataka, once upon a time, when I visited somewhere in 2014 or so, they used to spend about 26,000 rupees for recovery of 10 grams of gold. At the time, cost was somewhere around, maybe around 28,000. 10 grams cost used to be 28,000. Whereas the incurred cost for recovery of the gold is 26,000. Means the profit is 2,000 rupees only. For recovery of 10 grams, I will tell you, for recovery of 2 grams of gold, they have to process 1 ton of ore. 1 ton of ore means 1,000 kgs of ore they have to process to recover only 2 to 3 grams of gold. And for recovery of gold from about 10 grams, they have to spend about 26,000. The profit at the time is only 2,000 rupees. They were operating that mine only for the sake of the workers who are there as an employee. Now you see, 10 grams of gold cost is around 1 lakh, 1 lakh, let us say. Now, even if you assume that the cost of recovery of that gold from 1 ton of ore to 2 3 grams, maybe they may have to process about 3.5 tons of ore. Now they can recover 10 grams, but cost, if you see, multiply 26,000 for at the time 26,000, even if you make double, now they got the economic viability about 50,000 rupees profit is there. Definitely. Now, similarly, now that's the only reason now Korar goldfields they are going to open it, because now economic, though now gold availability in Korar goldfields is maybe 1 gram, maybe 1 gram in 1 ton of ore, but when they process 10 tons of ore, they get 10 grams. 10 grams cost is 1 lakh. Therefore, the economic viability is there, huge profits is there. Then they will think of going for. Therefore, economic viability will decide whether you have to go for recycling or not. As on date, if technology is available, may not be possible to recover that much of economic viability may not be there. Therefore, they will not touch it. When the economic viability comes into picture, definitely everybody will go for recycling. Now, I'm telling you one example: circular economy. Earlier, we used to have the singular economy. It's nothing but take from the natural resources, use it and throw. We never used to think of going for recycling. Now we are going for circular economy because the availability of natural resources is not available. It is limited in nature. Whereas the demand is going up because day by day we are going for sophisticated instruments, then naturally we have to have the so much of minerals consumption will be there, and that we don't have all the minerals. For example, lithium ion battery. Lithium, we have to recover, we have to depend on other countries like the USA or China also. Now, recently there is a news that lithium, the resource of mining is found in Jammu and Kashmir. Means if you are having your own resources, there is no necessity to worry. The cost of recovery, cost, everything will be economical, so that we will go for it. Similarly, recently there is news on the oil exploration, Andaman and Nicobar. Means we are everywhere we are losing the oil resources, but luckily we are going to have the oil reserves have been found. Means we are having security. Yes, I got the petrol, security is there. They no need to go for other options like solar power or e-vehicles. For me, I got my reserves. It is going to serve me for next 20 years. Within these 20 years, we can go for planning of going to switch over to the e-vehicles. Therefore, various options has to be seen. For example, like because of natural resource are not available, now the government of India come out with one the rules called end of life vehicles rules. Means, yeah, after expiry of validity of registration of any vehicle, it has to go for recycling only. We can recover useful raw materials. Therefore, when you go for natural resources mining, followed by recovery of any useful materials, it is a cost is very high. Recovery of the minerals cost is very high, and is going to cause a lot of impact. Whereas if you recycle the waste, cost of recovery is very the nominal, and impact on the environment will be very nominal. There will not be much impact. I will tell you a simple example is paper. Paper as such will go for recycling without any law. There is no any law for paper waste management. It is though it is a solid waste, because there is a revenue involved. We also involve in segregation. I will give only to the some fellow who will come and collect from my house this waste paper, but that waste paper collector will go and give it to the the local fellow who is collecting all the waste paper. That waste will go directly to the industry for recycling. For craft, if you look at Punjab or Haryana, there are so many industries are there, craft paper manufacturing units. Therefore, here the cost of manufacture of paper is cheaper rather than going for natural resource materials. Means by taking wood materials, wooden materials, I'll go for digestion, and I'm going to cause a lot of wastewater generation, emissions problem will be there, and all these problems will not be there. Therefore, now the government is going towards moving towards end of like the circular economy, and we are insisting upon recycling of all the waste materials. There are various waste materials have been identified, like hazardous waste is going for incineration. If you look at 20 years before, all the waste used to go for landfills. Now, most of the hazardous waste is going for the resource recovery, recycling activity. For a simple example, tell you earlier the technology available about 20 years before, because I dealt this subject about 20 years before. At that time, we have got the option is only incineration. All high calorie value waste is used to go for incineration only. That's the only option we had. Now, the any waste is having high calorie value is going for cement plants. Cement plants are using as a fuel. Therefore, earlier option I have is incineration, for which industry used to pay about 25,000 rupees per ton of waste. Now, industry is getting money for their waste also. Therefore, we are moving towards the circular economy. Whatever the waste is generated is going for most of the activity waste are going for recycling activity, and because of the options available is economic viability is there, and it is a restriction for you to move towards recycling activity because our natural resources are limited in nature. Therefore, economic viability decides how the waste has to go. If viability is there, people will look at it. If no economic viability is there, people will try to throw it. Yeah. Any other questions, please?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, in the same question,
Yeah.
if this recovery of aluminum foil has the economic viability, who will do this, sir? Healthcare facility or the common facility?
See, your purpose of having a healthcare facility is to take care of the patients. You start looking at the recovery at all, you cannot take care of the patients. Therefore, as on date, there are no as such waste recyclers for recovery of aluminum foils. I'm telling you. But somewhere in Bangalore, I heard, but some huge quantum of waste is coming, pharmaceutical waste. They are going for shredding, and by grading it, they are recovering aluminum foils. Then it is they are selling for the the aluminum the waste recyclers. But as of date, there's no such thing. But in future, it may come. Definitely, people may think about to have some technology. They will come out definitely, and definitely there will be a positive for recovery of aluminum foils also. Now you tell me, I am using only one tablet, one strip. Can I go for recycling? No possibility. No. Therefore, naturally, I throw it. Therefore, there should be some quantum should be there, so that it becomes economically viable. Then only it is possible. Otherwise, it will go generally as a the incineration process on. Yeah. Another question, please.
Thank you, sir.
But manufacturers who are collecting or distributors who are collecting this outdated medicine, the expired medicines, it may be a huge quantum. I think so that they can think of in future. If they feel yes, they can recover some resource from that waste, they can think of. They know there is a possibility that is possible, depending on the quantum of waste available. Any other questions? Okay, if not, no questions, we can conclude this session today. Tomorrow we are going to have a look at, let me have a look at it. Tomorrow we are going to, yeah, I thought of showing you some questions as usual, but we'll see tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to have a look at the burn and non-burn technologies and also liquid waste management. Please kindly, I request you all kindly try to join by shortly by 4 o'clock. And if I can finish off my both the lectures quickly, if you are having at least 25 minutes, then I want to show you some sort of questions and answers type also. That may be useful for you all. And thank you very much for your the patience to have and also participating in interactions. I love to have interactions. Don't expect that I only will teach. No, one should react. Then only you learn more. Somebody is posing question also is useful for others because often others may not be asking me the questions, but when somebody asks and I clarify it, that is also knowledge gaining for others also. Therefore, don't hesitate to ask many questions. And thank you very much for attending today's class. Tomorrow we'll see burn and non-burn technologies as well as liquid waste management. And I will try to cover up by 1.5 hour both the lectures by having a break of 10 minutes also as usual. Then we'll have question and answers we'll take up, and so that we can have a look at some sort of the recollecting the knowledge base. Anyhow, thank you very much once again. See you tomorrow by 4 o'clock. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.